Hey everyone. So you want to become a master data destroyer. Okay, not in a supervillain kind of way. But seriously, today we're diving deep into how to safely and cleanly delete data from your MySQL databases using PDO.
We're talking about those commands that make data vanish, delete, drop, and truncate.
Right. We'll break down what each one really does, when you'd want to use one over the other, and how to make sure you don't accidentally say bye-bye to something you really needed.
Because, let's be honest, we've all been there, right? Hitting that delete button and then, uh-oh, instant regret.
Oh, tell me about it. And with databases, it's not always as simple as hitting undo.
Exactly. So for this deep dive, I found a site that's super practical and code-focused, plus tunet.com. It's like a cheat sheet for anyone who learns best by doing, and honestly, who doesn't love a good code example.
Right. Plus, TUNet zeroes in on using PDO, that's PHP data objects, for those just tuning in.
PDO is like a universal translator for your PHP code to talk to different databases, including, of course, MySQL. It helps prevent some nasty security issues, too.
And it's perfect for deleting entire tables if you need to.
Definitely. They have a clear explanation of the drop table command. It's surprisingly simple to use, dangerously so, some might say.
No, yeah. Because once you drop a table,
Right.
it's like it never existed. Poof, gone. No takebacksies. They even talk about using row count afterwards, which I find kind of funny. Like, what rows? There's nothing left to count.
Well, it's more about making sure the command actually executed. Like, did it work or did something go wonky? But you are right to be cautious. Drop table is not something to throw around lightly. That's why they bring up transactions, which are basically a safety net when you're doing anything this potentially destructive to your database.
So transactions are like that "are you sure" message you get before deleting something important.
Kind of. It's more like putting all your commands in a little box and saying, hey, database, if even one of these things fails, just roll back everything. It's like hitting undo for a whole sequence of actions, which is super useful when you're dealing with commands that have permanent consequences.
Got it. Transactions. Gotta love them.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about drop, but plus TwoNet also breaks down two other commands, delete and truncate. They actually have this handy little table comparing all three, which I found super helpful. Delete seems like your go-to when you need to be really specific about what you're removing. Like if you need to delete certain rows based on particular criteria, it's slower, sure, but sometimes you need that precision, right?
Absolutely. It's a difference between using a scalpel and a sledgehammer. Sometimes you need surgical precision,
Yeah.
and delete gives you that,
Plus, you can use row count with delete to see exactly how many rows were deleted.
which can be very satisfying,
Yeah.
especially when it matches the number you were expecting.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Now, truncate, on the other hand, that's the sledgehammer.
It's more like hitting the reset button on the entire table. All the data gone. But importantly, the table structure itself remains. It's like emptying a jar of marbles. The jar is still there, but it's empty.
Right, which is a key difference from drop, where you're basically smashing the jar. Right.
Exactly. With truncate, you can start adding new data to the table right away because the structure is already there.
Handy. Okay, so to recap, we've got delete, which is precise and lets you remove specific data. Truncate, which is like hitting reset on the entire table, keeping the table itself intact.
And
The big kahuna, which completely obliterates the table and all its data from existence. Use with extreme caution.
seriously, folks, triple check before you drop anything. But hey, at least now you know what you're getting into. And that's really the point, isn't it? Understanding the tools at your disposal so you can use them safely and effectively.
Exactly. We've gone from database deletion newbies to, well, maybe not experts.
More like informed practitioners.
I like that. Informed practitioners of data destruction. Okay, that might need a little work.
Yeah, maybe we'll workshop that one.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, the key takeaway here is that you now understand these commands and, more importantly, why and when you'd want to use each one.
And remember, the best way to truly master this stuff is to play around with it. Create a test database, experiment with these commands, see what happens.
Exactly. And if you come across any scenarios where you're not sure which command to use, delete, truncate, or the mighty drop, think about it like this. What's the end goal? What are you trying to achieve? Once you've got that clear, choosing the right tool becomes a whole lot easier.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Until next time, happy and safe deleting.